Okay, so we're going to graph and plug in for the table. We're going to plug in the 2 times 1/3 to the x part. We're going to leave the plus the minus 5. And that's because if I plugged in -1, 0, and 1 to this, I get really, really big numbers. Because the whole graph is moved over to the right 5. And so when I get to the axis, it ends up being a really large part of the graph. So I want to graph just this part without the minus 5, and then we'll move all of the points over 5. Okay? We've done this before. We can do this. Ready? Let's plug in -1. 2 times 1/3 to the -1 power is 2 times, what's 1/3 to the -1 power? 3, which equals 6. 2 times 1/3 to the 0 is 2 times 1, which is 2. And 2 times 1/3 to the 1 is 2 times 1/3, which is 2/3. I'm going to graph those in red. -1, +6. 0, 2, 1, and 2/3. Now my transformation says I can move all of these points right 5. So in purple, I'm going to move them right 5. Okay, so these all moved right 5. And then I didn't move the graph up or down at all, did I? That means my asymptote is still at the axis. Now if I move my graph up and down, my asymptote will move with it. Okay. And there is my transformed function. 2 times 1/3 to the x minus 5. Now see how big these numbers would be if we continued this and tried to plug in -1, 0, and 1, which is why we don't want to plug 0, -1, and 1 into the whole function. Because it's a horizontal translation, right 5. Okay. So now we're going to do a log one. Log base 4 of x. And y equals 2 times the log base 4 of x minus 1. Can we describe this transformation? It's a vertical stretch. Factor of 2. That minus 1 is not in parentheses, so that makes it a vertical translation down 1. So the function we're going to use in our table is that part. We're going to ignore all plus and minuses on the end. Okay? All the adding and subtracting we're going to ignore when we make our table. Then we will use the adding and subtracting and move it right or left and up and down. Now, remember yesterday, when it's log base 4, we plug in 1 over the base, which is 1/4. We plug in 1, and then we plug in the base, which is 4. So I have 2 times the log base 4 of 1/4. What's the log base 4 of 1/4? -1. So 2 times -1 equals -2. Then I have 2 log base 4 of 1. What's the log base 4 of 1? 0. 4 to what power equals 1? 0. Whenever I have 1 in the log, the answer is 0. And 2 times 0 equals 0. And 2 times the log base 4 of 4 is 2 times 1 equals 2. So this graph has not moved right-left, which means the asymptote is still on the y-axis. This asymptote will move right-left, the vertical one. The horizontal asymptote will move up and down. So here are my initial points. 1/4 negative 2, 1, 0, and 4, 2. And these points need to move how am I going to move my red points to get my final answer? Down 1, right? So down 1, down 1, down 1. I just estimated 1/4 is pretty close to 0, right? It's a little bit, it's halfway between halfway.